in terms of China, when we're talking about, China has started the construction of a mega dam on the river running through Tibet and India, with Chinese Premier Li Qiang attending the commencement ceremony. And according to reports, Beijing approved the project in December on the river known as Yarlung in Tibet and Brahmaputra in India, linking the project to China's carbon neutrality targets and economic goals in the Tibet region. Once built, the dam could break the record, breaking Three Gorges Dam on the Yangtze River in central China. The location of the project raises concerns in India, and according to some estimates, the dam could have long-term serious impacts on millions of people downstream in India. These concerns come due to the location of the dam, and the dam is to be built at a huge gorge in Himalayan reaches where the Brahmaputra river makes a huge U-turn to flow into Arunachal Pradesh and then into Bangladesh. Concerns arise in India as the dam, besides empowering China to control the water flow, the size and the scale of it could also enable Beijing to release large amounts of water, flooding border areas in times of hostilities. India too is building a dam over Brahmaputra in Arunachal Pradesh. So those are the details that are emerging out of this story. Joining me on the telecast is Arvind Tejawat. He is an international affairs expert, and also Major General Gigi Dwivedi, defense expert, joining us on the telecast. Thank you so much for taking out the time and joining us on the telecast. Starting with you, Major General Gigi Dwivedi, what's your perspective on this story? The fact that China is set to start this project, and it also could have serious implications as well.
It should not come as a surprise, because China has been constructing dams on Yarlung Tsangpo, which is the name in Tibet, since last about 10 years. And they have constructed dams at Tagu, Chieshu, and Zangnan. And it was quite expected that this talk, China constructing a mega dam around the river bend where it enters India, and I incidentally commanded my division in this area, it was long up in the air. Now the point is that they have now started the construction, and that's a reality. And this we must acknowledge, and it has definite implications. First and foremost, China has the capability to regulate the water flow, and this will seriously affect the way we are using the waterway too in Brahmaputra. The level, once controlled or regulated by the Chinese, will have impact on the navigability of the river. Secondly, 80% of our population in Assam and the neighboring states is dependent around the Brahmaputra Valley. So therefore, it's going to have impact on the agriculture, on the ecosystem, and I would say that the impact is going to be also on the environment. The third point is that the Chinese, the way they are going to go about it, they also have plans to divert water northward. When I was defense-attached China, they had plans to divert water from south to north, because north part of China is water-starved and southern part of China has ample of water. So this is another concern that is going to be there. And two important points. Firstly, we don't have a treaty with Chinese as a lower riparian state with the upper riparian state. And Chinese have been building dams on most of the rivers which originate from Tibet, whether it is Mekong, Salween, to name a few. So I think that India needs to take it very seriously. We have been trying to wish away this reality, but it has come about, and this dam is going to be bigger than the Three Gorges Dam, which I happened to visit when I was in China as a defense attaché. So I think these concerns are very serious. It's like a water bomb that is going to be, and another lever which China is going to use against India, that is weaponizing the river waters of Yarlung Tsangpo. I think we need to have a very clear policy. We need to raise this issue globally and with Chinese, so that we are able to take adequate measures. And last point I want to say, people have been saying that we control about 60–70% of the water of Brahmaputra, because the catchment areas are also in India. But the point is, Chinese have the capability to regulate. They also have the capability to affect the quality of water. And these are very serious concerns, both strategically, economically, and of course, security dimensions. Over to you.
All right. I also have with me Arvind Tejawat, international affairs expert as well. Arvind Tejawat, your take on this. What do you make of this, the fact that China has started the construction of a mega dam and the implication it could have not just on India as well as Bangladesh as well, and especially for areas when we're talking about northeast, Arunachal Pradesh, as well as areas in Assam as well?
Ria, means as my earlier speaker, Dwivedi Saab has already explained some of the things, but here I'm agree with him, but I'm differ on some issues. Like, okay, fine, we have identified the issues that the China is constructing dam for the electricity and for the hydraulic power to use in their country. But now the issue is that what India can do and how the India can counter such issues. Because if we see the world order, then I hardly believe that China is bound to follow the guidelines what we have decided in a US convention in 1997. So I hardly believe that China is going to follow the guidelines decided by the United Nations. And I don't think that the China is also trying to follow the Helsinki Agreement in 1966. So these two things are the international law, majorly the international law for the water course or the water resources in what way they can use. Now, the Western media is giving enough attention to our foreign minister Jaishankar Sahab's visit in China, but mostly the Indian media is not taking as much notice as it should be. So, if the Jaishankar Sahab is there, then probably he might spoken to his counterparts that okay, either we can set up a tribunal or maybe a kind of setup where both the countries can use the water resource wisely. But the Chinese foreign minister, the foreign ministry, they said that okay, the India need not to worry about, and we are using the water resource, and it will not affect the India's interest, and the water flow shall remain the same as earlier. But we cannot rely on the long competitor like China. So India needs to make the dam on Indian side, but we can do nothing if we see the international law and the world order. If we look into the world order, then India can not pressurize or not in a condition to decide the Chinese the policies related to the water resources and all. So sometimes the national interest is not only understand the problems and the difficulties and to identify the problem. Sometimes the national interest or the diplomacy might be understand the counterparts' confusion and the doubts. So only in that way, I suppose we can protect our national interest. And in that way, I suppose the India should decide a policy. But I doubt because there in a South Bloc, the diplomats are in a high pressures. They are not having much work power to decide the policies and all. And at the same time, if we see that we are not producing a good research that on some issues that India, in what way the India can react. So at our part, we need to go for a research, and we shall try to find out that what could be the best solution to counter with the future or maybe the coming problem related to the water resources on a part of China and the policies of the China making a dam on a Brahmaputra river. Ria, over to you.
All right. Thank you so much to both of you for joining us on the telecast. Moving on to some other news coming in. The funeral ceremony of